Seems you had some broken traction there. Back you come. Jason, Ogre is back. And you're pulling it apart. We just put it together. Oh yeah, we put the breather hose on.
I guess I needed half the job.
Well, we didn't have any paint, and we wouldn't have time for it to paint to dry. Andrew did offer to cook it a cake box. He offered to wrinkle and paint it, and bake it in his oven.
I could polish this.
No, I want it black. So, Jace?
Hey, Kevin, what's the first rule of YouTube? Make sure your camera's on. What's the second rule of YouTube? Make sure your battery's charged.
Yeah. So, Jace, what are you doing today?
As little as possible.
That's not actually an option, I don't think. It's brakes day.
Well, no, it's going to paint fucking Snuffleupagus.
You paint the Snuffleupagus. And then we're going to put some bigger brakes onto this truck. Off to do the wrinkle. Hey Jace, is there 2 nipples on both calipers?
2 nipples on both calipers.
Yeah, on the left hand caliper and the right hand caliper? Yeah. Like the inside nipples. You're not so good with nipples.
Oh, you start getting to 4, it gets a bit weird.
4's too many for you. It's like a cow. Dogs have got more than 4 nipples. They got a whole belly full of nipples. Pigs got a whole belly full. Right, we've also got an ARP front crank bolt. We're going to fit up, do a bit of an upgrade there.
Maybe we need to hold on to that because it's got a lot of freaking.
Yeah, what are we doing? Are we putting sealant on it or are we putting lube on it?
Both.
You can't mix sealant and lube. So, some recommendations on these, they have apply sealant to stop oil coming out the crank bolt. But this is dry, eh? So this was the original one and it had sealant on it, but there's no sign of moisture or anything coming out the crank, between the crank and the crank pulley.
Yeah.
Whereas the crank pulley, basically, it's shrunk on there. So there's no clearance for oil to come out.
It comes down from the thread. It comes down through here. That's why there's.
Yeah,
that's why there's sealant there.
But you look there, that thread is dry. It's not as if it's come down.
I can see that.
Good. I'm going with the ARP recommendation because the ARP say to lube it. And they do it, lube it to get it to the right torque setting. So I'd like a Loctite on it so it didn't come, so there's no way it can come loose, but I'm figuring it 250 foot-pounds, 240? 235 foot-pounds, it ain't going to come loose. Is it? And your brakes haven't get it in yet.
Well, I don't really want to. Oh.
They rub out to the edge, nearly to the edge. They look okay. Okay, with the right pads it'll be nice. Right, let's have a look here. Life wants to challenge us, Jace. You can actually see things spinning around in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the last big rev might have been it.
Yeah, alternators should take a rev though. And it's not like we've got an oversized or undersized pulleys or anything dumb like that. But, yeah. I did notice. I'll show you. Actually, come look at the logs. I'm flicking on and off. But check out that log for that, for the alternator. There's a blip all the time. Blip, 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 blip. And I thought it was just the fans flicking on. But maybe there was something actually physically wrong with the alternator as well. Well, the rattle coming out of the alternator gives me that idea. This vehicle really wants to challenge us, eh? It's going to be nice when it's all finished and you actually overcome all these challenges. doesn't actually look too bad to get off. Oh, that bracket above has to come off. Maybe we will upsize that cable, eh? If you whip that cable out too. Yeah, it'll rattle for you too.
Oh, whatever to do.
What are you doing?
Bringing this back together for the zillionth time.
Do you don't like the red air filter I got? Red goes faster. Red goes faster.
Ooh. I like you moved it now.
Yeah, I did. I think you might need to line it up on the top of the box first. Set it onto there.
Yeah, I tried that last one. I put it in and it didn't really go. Why is it sticky on the bottom?
You often have a sticky bottom. Oh, that doesn't work. Pushes up nice or not? That's definitely better. Yeah, that sounds better. You had extremely long arms. Go get your arms. That sounds better. That's definitely better. Rev it again. Yeah, that's better, eh? That makes more noise, Jace. Just remove it. We'll just get a turn down, mate. We'll just get a turn straight underneath. Nice. It's cert day for the 6 litre Hilux. And it's a pretty big day. We've been working pretty hard to get all the little bits and pieces finished off. We did the brakes last week and finished them off this week. But overall, I'm really happy with everything that's in here. We've got a list of bits and pieces, so the cert man knows what he's getting. And a cert man's a bit like a lawyer. It's full disclosure. Just tell them everything that you think they need to know. Because with the way the cert plates are going and the certification process is going, you actually want the modifications to be listed and recorded against the vehicle. This one will be getting one of the new tags that it's all photographed. So the vehicle will be photographed and you can reference it off your smartphone or off a website to know what was on that vehicle at the time of the cert. And that also in itself raises a few questions with regard to the cert process. We'll work through them as we go. Like if you do modify or put different arms on or anything like that, or do make some changes to your certified vehicle, how legal they're going to stay. Or whether the warrant of fitness man is going to make life a bit tricky because it doesn't match the photos. Yet it's still actually all legal. On this one, being a bit of a cheeky bugger, I also put that we enlarged the left-hand firewall grommet plug because there are some questions around structural modifications with like drilling a hole in a firewall, which is kind of a bit crazy. I had a chat to a panel beater the other day about it and he thought it's kind of a little bit silly. But if this is the way they want to interpret the rules, then this is what we're going to end up with these little queries. I'm doing 1000 RPM at 50 k's an hour in top gear. Sometimes you forget it's the manual way. It's like this is an auto. You can just drop it down and just not change gear. Oh, we might have to change the gear now. Maybe. As part of the prep, I've made sure the speedo is accurate. It's kind of easy because it's calibrated by the link. I've listed, because we've got different brakes on it, I've listed what the brakes are. I've got some paperwork for the braided brake lines. He can of course see that it's got a different engine in it, and he will see the cross members. He'll check the welding. I don't need to provide anything for that because he can see it. If we put like plates under the carpet, then I'd have photos of that. If it was a four-wheel drive and we had steering spaces or suspension modifications, we'd have the relevant paperwork for that. If the drive shaft had been modified, we'd have paperwork for that. We have our drive shaft hoops fitted, so he can see that. We don't need paperwork for it. The exhaust is nice and quiet. As you can tell, you can hardly hear it in here. There's almost more wind noise. Outside, it's got a good cackle to it though. And there's catalytic converters fitted to make sure that the cert man's happy. It doesn't bother me that it might fail. It's just part of what happens. And I cross my fingers a little bit. Of course, in my folder as well, I have a warrant of fitness check sheet. There's also a wheel alignment sheet, and I had the wheels balanced. And both of those were actually done this week, so they're nice and current. So let's get to see Colin and see how we get on. I don't normally come to Colin's this way. I'm normally going from the other way. So you can normally see the car hanging off the front of the building. I can see where the panel beaters are. We're good. Still see the car hanging off the building, so we're good. Ronnie managed to follow us. Actually managed to follow us. So I dropped off the Hilux for a cert check this morning. And Colin was busy, had other things to do, so I didn't get to catch up with him too much. We had a really quick chat. Didn't have a chance to catch any footage. And I'm back and he's buggered off for the day. What's it say on the piece of paper?
Passed.
It says passed! Woohoo! The brakes actually got better and better on the drive here, so I'm pretty happy about that. It's a pass! I better let the customer know actually. It is a pass. Right. We're going to head in and show the vehicle to one of the wreckers that we get quite a few parts from. They happen to be just down the road from the cert place, a little way from our place, but they're really good to us and they help us out a shitload. And it's important to build those relationships. And they're kind of interested in this sort of stuff and seeing what we do. And by showing off what we do to them, it helps them supply us the parts we need. There's not many places that you can, again, I think we traded a box of beer to get the pins and the work we needed and get a fuse box out of one of these. They were just sending it to the crusher anyway, but again, it was nice to have that access to the yard so we could get the parts that we need. This is what a New Zealand wreckers yard looks like. Just leave that paperwork in the car. Place we want to kind of avoid. Where everything goes to die. Look at it all. So we got cert in the morning, and look who turned up. The owners. I'm not sure who's going to claim ownership. Hope or Aaron?
No, definitely Aaron, but I love it. I love it.
And they turned up in one of the tidiest Sauras I have ever seen. They'd done 26,000 so we'll have a look at that when we get back. But this is Aaron's first test drive. It's not quite finished, a few little bits and pieces to tidy, but they were out and about and they were hanging out to come have a look and give it a drive.
And give it a kiss and a cuddle.
Is it too quiet for you?
Nah. I leave it like that.
You quite like that?
Yeah, it's fine.
As long as it's got the power.
Outside it's definitely got a bit of a chirp to it, but in here it's very, very quiet.
Yeehaw. Woo! I don't very much will even feel the trailer on the back of the
You're not going to feel your camping trailer at all, hardly.
No, I didn't even notice it on the back with the diesel.
We really feel it on the back of the Sora. She is so sluggish with the trailer.
It's amazing how much of a difference it makes from auto to manual, isn't it?
Absolutely. With the Sora, the autos bulk up the torque.
Mm.
And that's why people complain that Lexuses don't have enough torque. But when they put a manual in, with the auto, that's what they're designed to do. But because we're talking 4 litres auto compared to 6 litres here.
Yeah.
That's quite a difference. And this is a little bit of a doughy tune at the moment, just until it gets sorted and everything's sorted. And then put it on the dyno, run it up, and it'll really come alive.
The contamination fuel lights.
Yeah. That's the one that last time they put the bit of paper underneath.
Yeah. It didn't actually come on until later on with the first conversion.
That's correct. You drive it for a few days and then it comes on. Every time we disconnect the battery, it disappears for a little while.
But then the first conversion was done by an amateur.
So I've just got to get a little bit of time and be in the right frame of mind, in the right frame of mind to pop the dash to bits. Because I put the dash apart and then I actually buzz desolder the LED off the board. So there's no way it can come back on and it's not just sitting going behind the seats. I take it off. You know, that's where the temp gauge sits, so we're going to get a little bit more temp out of it. And that's bang on 70.
Yeah, normally Japanese temperature gauges run about halfway.
Correct. Yeah, I'm going to put a slightly warmer thermostat in it. Pull at least another 10 degrees. And then just adjust the fan settings. It's got that great big fan on the back of the radiator.
Yeah.
That's a dual speed. And I haven't had it come on high speed yet. We almost bought this farm.
How much acres is on the one you're on?
400 acres. Where we are.
Oh, that's huge.
So that's 400. This one here is 400 hectares.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be doing cars. If we had bought that, I wouldn't be doing cars.
You're too busy on the farm.
I'd be busy being a farmer. So there you go. Smooth enough?
Yeah.
And you're putting on. You're still in 4th gear.
Yeah.
You don't use 5th. It'll handle 5th gear fine.
Until you get to the roundabout and then
Oh, we'll spin around at the processing plant. This is the second time up through here. Oh, someone's up pig hunting or deer stalking.
Yeah, I saw him there when we came through the other way.
There's actually a block through here. There's a block of native that's public,
Yeah.
and then behind is some pine trees that are not native, that are not public. But there's a strip through here you can chase deer in, and that side's all fine. Again, back to the pine trees, but there's a big lot of native on that side, and good a number of deer.
And you look inconspicuous to the cops, dear.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of a Hilux. Cops leave you alone.
Like the one that's went the other way.
Yeah.
Mind you, they can't do us anyway because it's with the mechanics. So.
Yep. They can try, but I'd argue the point. I started that discussion this morning with a cert man, but he was in a hurry and busy. You're trying to drive a vehicle, trying to beat in brakes and test it and all those sorts of things.
Yeah.
It's so smooth, eh? Like you get up to speed quite rapidly. It doesn't feel really, really powerful, but then you look at the speedo and go, oh, you're actually moving quite quickly.
Modern vehicles seem to hold the road better than what the early ones did.
Yeah, and this one not being really low, really makes it handle nicely. Sits on the road really nice.
Now, haven't gone overboard with the size of the wheels, so you've got a bit more tyre to take impact.
Yep, that's right. I noticed they were a 55 profile. The brakes are bedding in a bit more, so I've put Zenoli SP500 fast road pads, which are a really good pad, and it's got the dimple drilled slotted rotors.
And you reckon it needs to go to a bigger?
I'm not sure. I'm going to drive a little more, and I adjusted the back brakes. So on the warrant sheet, it came up as a uneven on the back brakes.
Yeah.
And I know because you did the back brakes last time or recently.
Yeah, because they failed it for being uneven, so I went and got new ones put on.
Yeah, so I just flicked them up and evened them up, and that made a massive difference. And then I went out yesterday and gave the brakes a proper bed in, and they've just gotten better and better. And then the drive in today. It takes a couple of 100 k's for the brakes to really settle.
Yeah.
And they've probably done into town 20, 40. I've done less than 100 k's.
And we're off. No, you're going to be conservative.
Well, everyone's in your way. Falcon's in a hurry. They're so effortless, eh? In this sort of situation. Give them some space. It's a clap.
Yeah, the brakes feel alright.
It's always hard when you first put them together, especially on a quite a hard compound pad like this. Designed for a road use, but you've got to run them through a heat cycle, so you've got to warm them up.
Yeah.
You cool them down. I did the proper process this morning. Oh no, yesterday. I did the proper process yesterday on them, then let them settle, and then today driving to cert was good, and then they passed cert.
How does it feel to be in the seat gearbox? Huh?
Been a long time.
It feels like you need to put the seat back more, eh?
Yeah, there's actually, even with the seat all the way back in this, there's not enough leg room for me.
Yeah.
That's why he loves the Sora, because the Sora goes way
Oh, you
back.
saw it's got more room?
Yeah, heaps more.
Yeah. So I've got a few spares there. You don't want the cover because I know you wanted the Corvette covers.
Yeah.
I don't actually mind with it naked.
I thought that Corvette guy had gone bust because I hadn't seen his advert in the petrol heads for a while, but now the advert's back in there again. So.
Well, I don't actually mind it naked. I think it looks quite good naked. You know, you can't see it because the bonnet's down.
Yeah.
But that's yours. That's your department. You can do that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm really, really happy with the way the air intake came up. I lucked it on the aircon. Absolutely lucked it. Oh, there was beer involved.
Ah.
There was definitely beer involved to get the aircon done. I pulled in at 3:45. What are you doing there?
Hunting a little bit.
Yeah. That'll sort once I've had the tune all over the place because I've been chasing that little blip at 2000 and it's consistently at 2000, so we were on it last night. I was talking to Ross last night. Is that the policeman again?
Yeah.
Come and get us, Porky.
Take a while to get used to.
I think once you're sitting back a bit further, the clutch will be easier.
Yeah.
So I pulled up at 4:45 for the air conditioning shop. I had beer, perfect, and I picked it up at 5 to 5 and it was done.
Oh, cool.
Because we'd actually done the lines on this one, so they didn't have to do lines or anything. And all we had to do with the lines was we shortened the bottom line from the pump because it was touching on the chassis rail. If it was a four-wheel drive, we wouldn't have needed to.
Yeah.
The top line to the aircon pump is bog standard. So it's got the Hilux air conditioning pump on it, okay? And it takes standard VE Commodore fan belts.
Just a little pity that the heater lines didn't come off the back of the engine like it does on the Lexus engine.
I know, yeah. That's the one thing with the LS motors.
Yeah.
And they come off as like a 19mm. and then it drops to 16. So that's just one's 16 and one's 19. So you have to put a dropper down. It's actually got a forward part on it. That little piece of hose is a forward part.
Oh yeah, I saw in the video you were moaning about a Ford badge. Parts for the Chevy stuff.
How's that? There you go.
Oh, I can see you've adjusted the back brakes. The handbrake just
I tweaked them up. And I think that helped just get it, those brake pass cert. There you go. So, we'll get a plate on it. We'll get it back to you. Whee!
I don't want to leave my baby.
Brakes fitted up. So we got away with a 5mm spacer. And look how much clearance we got. We got like 4.5 mils worth of clearance. That's how close they were. We almost just grabbed the flapper disc and gave the caliper a little bit of a zip.
Yeah.
But I thought just bringing them out that 5 mils was just a little bit nicer. So unmodified.
It was 5 mils is bugger all. The nuts will still go on plenty.
Like nuts are all on good. He checked that. That's all perfect. All no problem at all. And so those are Zanoli rotors as well. I've even got in just the other day the rest of the clips for under here as well. They just turned up. $6 each if you buy them from New Zealand.
Oh, okay.
And there's 11 of them.
Yeah.
I got it for about $25 for all of them. So there you go. Another saw. Look at that. Gee. Look at
Aaron,
that.
stand beside the ute and I'll take a photo.
Look at that. That is so tidy.
Honestly, the back seat's far more comfortable than the front seat.
Looks like you've been shopping.
Yeah, a little bit.
Just a pity about those adjusties and it making it bouncy.
Why does the cruise control not set over 100 and 107?
Oh, I don't know. That's interesting.
I thought it might have been a safety device thing.
Could be.
Because it works fine up till 107 and then it won't
Holy
go any
jeez.
higher.
Look at that.
I put a new fan belt on.
Yep.
But because it's getting old, it's probably never ever had a cam belt done in its life.
Yep.
It sounds really quiet and smooth when it runs, all the pulleys and stuff.
Like it's had the heater control done,
not that one.
had bits and pieces done. Did you get one of these?
No, I didn't need to. In the end, it came right.
Okay, cool.
I'll start her up.
Look at that.
I thought it looked full, but I just took the top off and put a little bit more water in it, and it doesn't do it anymore. So.
Like the tablet covers are super clean and tidy and everything. Like I've not seen a saw this tidy ever. That is phenomenal, isn't it? It looks like it's new.
It had a paint job because it was that pearl white.
Okay, yep. Wow.
The front of the engine sounds quiet as. There's no noise out of any of the pulleys at all. But,
Power steer pump is spotless.
yeah, I'm thinking they've had the air conditioning and the power steering rebuilt.
And that power steer pump's got to have been rebuilt.
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, listening to that now.
Oh, there's still bugger all.
That one maybe.
Yeah, still bugger all. That's amazing, eh? 20. So it had 26 on when you bought it?
Yeah, now it's
No,
got
30. Wow.
But the wheels, the tyres are damaging the plastic covers underneath.
Right. Luckily I've got spares, eh?
The guy who owned it, because he had a special insurance deal with limited kilometres, he basically kept it in the garage with a blanket over there.
What's the point of having a car you don't drive?
Yeah.
That is amazing, eh? Ooh. And the aircon controller works.
Yeah.
Everything works. Oh, you've done 31 Ks now? 31,000. Seats haven't hardly been sat on. Put a bit of cigarette burn. Oh no, that's fuzz. That's fuzz. What a sweetheart. Door cards.
The back seats are more comfortable than the front.
Door cards. That's amazing, Aaron. That's amazing, isn't it? Alright, we'll put some normal suspension back into it at some point. We'll get the ute done and then we'll have this one.
Your
Later.
happy bed.
Later.
Yeah, you want him to kiss us and cuddle. You wanted to cuddle the ute.
I know. Well, I'll tell you a story. We went to Taupo quite a few years ago.
You know I've got the camera going, eh?
Yeah, we went to Taupo quite a few years ago for a hot rod show. And I was dribbling and drooling over a Volkswagen Bug. And Aaron
Not
goes...
really a hot rod.
And Aaron goes, instead of dribbling over that, have a look what's around the corner. And I looked around the corner and I was like, oh my God! Ran up, kiss, all over it. Aaron
That was
goes,
the old tea bucket that I used to
Oh,
have.
it was your tea bucket. You saw your tea
The
bucket.
guy still rides around on it.
ZZ4949, and
He doesn't do the mileage I used to
do.
do on it. 'Cause I used to drive it everywhere where he trailers it.
And
Right.
kissed it all over.
So your tea bucket's still around.
Oh yeah.
So this
Still going
is
strong.
really the replacement for the tea bucket, isn't it? So it's a modern hot rod is what you wanted.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I can't.
But it's a little bit subtle.
Ultimately, I want a 1970 Corvette, but I've got nowhere to put one.
Yeah.
They're up around 100 grand now anyway.
Yeah.
Aaron, I
Oh, well.
can't leave you.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
Well, it was good to see you today.
Yeah,
Enjoy Beach Hop, and I'm glad you had a good drive. It's nice to actually get a feel and see how you drive it and how you fit in it and all those sorts of things.
Aaron won't
Not a-
use kids in this. He babies it too much.
I may have lost traction in your ute once.
Ah, it'd be easy.
Very good. Drive safe. Enjoy Beach Hop. Talk to you next week.
Hopefully there's no roadworks on that side of the hills.
Not too much. That is a tidy car. Look at that. Catch up.
Shall see you again.
See you, mate.